My name is Simon Carvel, a longtime resident of South Florida, traveler of the world, and I want to tell you my story. I slipped and I fell, but I thought nothing of it. Growing up, I grew up with sickle cell and cardiomegaly, bronchitis, and everything else. I had all of these conditions, but I had learned how to manage it. But that fall triggered it and woke everything up again. I woke up and I could not see at all. And there were floaters inside of like the vision that later became a tumor as well as cataract inside of my right eye that caused total blindness in my right eye. I'm getting rushed to like the emergency room, and by the time I get home, I'm good, and I go to work one day and I'm rushed right back to the emergency room. By that time, we kind of factored that I'm not going to be able to successfully complete my job, so I had gone ahead and resigned. Came down to South Florida to be around family, and found out that mom had cancer. She needed care that we could not provide. I decided to clean out my savings and the operating budget to ensure that she had the best care possible. I realized I only had $42 left inside of the bank. And I had to decide between food or medicine. And I know I could not pay any of my bills. So that began the process of me realizing that I'm about to be homeless for the first time in my entire life. I had spent a long period of time applying for disability and like the healthcare insurance, and I kept getting denied, like denial after denial, not because I wasn't disabled, but because they said because of my employment background and like my education, they feel that I can find something that is not as demanding. But thankfully, around June of 2019, they finally approved like the medical insurance. I had a different insurance company, but they switched it over to Simply Healthcare. The case manager, her name is Valentina. She called just like the normal checkup, and I had to make a decision at that moment. Do I become vulnerable and tell her what's happening, or do I just act like everything is okay? So while talking to her, I began crying and I broke down and I told her, I'm about to be homeless and I don't know what to do.
This is why I love being a case manager and working with Simply Healthcare. I get to have positive impact on people's lives every day. Sometimes people don't know where to turn for help, and I'm proud to be of service to the community.
One of the things that's very critical about Simply is the effort that we have put into establishing those relationships with community-based organizations, with the provider groups, reaching out to our members on a regular basis, making sure that we are communicating, that we are addressing their needs.
In Simon's situation, he was going through a tough moment, and he had the courage to speak up. He was very upset about having to go to a homeless shelter.
I know I probably gave her the toughest time over that decision. She connected me to the shelter that connected me to the program that put me into this home right now. And had it not been for her, I don't think I would have been here. I wound up getting a new case manager. That new case manager is Francis, and there's something amazing about her.
By the time I started working with Simon, he was getting ready to move into his new apartment, and he was so excited. His needs were more than just housing. He has several medical conditions that require constant care. Part of my job is to help coordinate his healthcare services. I advocate for my members. I want them to trust me and to trust the work that we do at Simply Healthcare.
There is a stigma of homelessness. From the world that I came from, being homeless is a sign of failure. It's a sign of poor planning. It's a sign of not doing things right. But having that support helped me to understand that going through homelessness is not a sign of failure. All it is a chapter of your life. And as long as you remember where you're going and you still have your dreams, you can get through those dark days.
Simon is very inspirational. He went through a very difficult moment, and I am so proud to be part of his life story.
When you have an insurance company and case managers who care about their patients. It's kind of like they become like a pen pal, and at some of my lowest moments I could talk to them, they ask for nothing in return. And in that moment, I think that it reignited the love inside of my heart. And it reminded me that I'm important, that I matter, and I'm not going through this alone. For those who are going through this, trust the process. Homelessness is not the end of your story. Sickness is not the end of your story. Thank you, Simply. It's so amazing to be connected to a healthcare insurance that cares about you as a person. So thank you, Simply. Thank you to Valentina, to Francis, and to all the people who's a part of my case that I don't know about and giving me this opportunity. Thank you.